Hi everyone, thank you for joining OACAC and StriveScan's virtual college exploration. We're excited to have you part of this session. A few reminders before we get started: you are able to ask questions using the Q&A button at any time. Your camera and microphone are off during the presentation, so the panelists can't see or hear you. But again, you're welcome to ask questions at any point throughout the presentation. This is one of many sessions being offered as part of the virtual college exploration. We encourage you to view a recording of this session and sign up for others at oacac.org. Without further ado, I will turn it over to Roche University.
Thank you. So we'll get started. My name is Tori, and today we also have Mark with us, and we're representing Roche University, which is in the Pittsburgh area of Pennsylvania. So we'll tell you a little bit about Roche. We'll talk a little bit about our admissions process here, and then we'll answer any of the questions that you might have had throughout the presentation at the end. So Roche University is a Catholic university founded by the Congregation of the Sisters of Divine Providence in 1963. We are a very diverse campus with just a little under 1,300 students. We represent 36 countries, 19 states, plus Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and have a 12-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. So a small student body representing a lot of different backgrounds here on our campus. That being said, we know a lot of faiths are represented on our campus, so there's no requirement to go to Mass or anything like that. These are some distinctions that we've gotten this year. So we're a College of Pennsylvania distinction, Catholic College of Pennsylvania distinction, and then we're also named one of the best regional colleges in the Northeast this year. One of our goals here at Roche is to foster global citizenship. So what we want to do is create students that aren't just the best in the world, but the best for the world. Some of our academic majors that we offer here, we have over 50 majors. You can see here at the bottom, we have 66 undergraduate programs in all different fields. So I'll just go through very quickly some of the different departments that we have here on our campus. We have business programs, design programs, education programs, engineering programs that we partner with other universities for. So you can see that 3-2 distinction there. That means that we partner with another university in the area. You go 3 years here and 2 years there. Health professional programs, your humanities majors, which I was when I was in school. Math, natural, and behavioral sciences. We just got a brand new science center on our campus with all new lab space and classrooms. So if you're interested in being a science major, then you've got the best spot on campus for your classrooms. And then visual and performing arts. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what kind of majors you can have here at Roche, but we aren't just sitting in the classroom here in Pittsburgh. We have opportunities to go abroad or other fun places in the U.S. Our study abroad program is one of my favorite things that Roche offers because it's included in your tuition. So students have the opportunity to go abroad for about 2 weeks, and they don't have to pay for their flights, food, or hotels while they're there. Which is a pretty awesome deal. You're going with Roche faculty members and other Roche students, so it's a very comfortable situation. And the only thing you ever have to pay for is your passport and any souvenirs that you might want to bring home. So, like I said, it's a study abroad and study USA program, so we actually have options for students to go on a 2-week trip in the US, because we know going abroad kind of can be scary for some people. So we've taken students to Alaska, Arizona, New York, LA, just fun places in the US that you might not get to go to otherwise. In this picture here, you can see that these are some of our students that went to Greece recently. And here's a picture of a couple of our students that traveled to Peru with our study abroad program. So after you study super hard, you're going to graduate and you'll be looking for a job. So one thing that we like to share with our prospective students is that 94% of our graduates find a job, are in grad school, in the military, or doing some sort of service within a year of graduating. So our students are pretty successful after graduating, partly because we have an office on our campus called Student Academic Support Services. And they're really here to help you find internship and job opportunities while you're here with us at La Roche. My favorite things that they do some resume writing, cover letter writing, which they'll help you kind of perfect your cover letter and resume. But my favorite thing that they do is mock interviews. So I don't know about you, but I get super jittery and nervous when it comes to interviews. So having some practice and doing a mock interview really helps to get those jitters out and make sure that you're on your best for whenever you do the interview in real life. Now, these are just some examples of places that students have interned and worked for, either while they were at La Roche or after graduating from La Roche. We always like to point out the 3 professional sports teams, though I'm not sure in Ohio you'd be super excited to work for the Steelers. But either way, it gives you some really cool experience working for a professional sports team. Of course, we have lots of different options as well. Pittsburgh's home to a ton of successful companies, corporations, healthcare providers. We kind of got the whole board covered, so there's a lot of opportunity for you to grow in your career here. Our rooms on campus, I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but they're very spacious. They come with the 2 beds, desks, chairs, dressers, and the best part is that they come with their own bathroom. The caveat to that is you do have to clean it yourself, but now that you're an adult, I think that you'd rather be able to clean your own bathroom than have to share with 20 other people. I know I would. They also come with Wi-Fi, cable, and free laundry. All you have to do is bring the detergent and dryer sheets or whatever else it is that you use for your laundry. And I know eating is important to everybody. So on our campus, we kind of operate on a swipe and go. So you just swipe your student ID. You can eat as much as you want. Usually we have a bunch of different options like a salad bar every day, a sandwich bar every day, some sort of pizza, pasta. They usually do some sort of like meat, starch, veggie portion of the dining hall. There's also some sort of bar every day. So they might have taco bar, pasta bar, my favorite's mac and cheese bar. And then they usually also have an international food option every day as well. And then in addition to the main dining hall, we also have something called the Red Hot Cafe, which I don't know what part of Ohio you guys are from, but I know some parts of Ohio have sheets. It's kind of like a Sheets where you just tap what you want, pay, and kind of go. It's just more of a grab and go option. There's over 30 clubs and organizations on our campus. These can be academic clubs related to your major. They could be athletic clubs, like a ski club or a fishing club, hockey club, or they could be just for fun clubs. So you might have like a poetry club or a club dedicated to your favorite board game. There are really tons of options, and if there's something that you're super passionate about that we don't have, you can always start your own club. All it takes is about 5 students and an advisor to start a club. Our student life is very vibrant, as you can see. So we usually have a spring concert every spring. Last spring, we brought state champs to campus. I'm not sure if you guys know who they are, but it was a great turnout. The students had a blast. Like I said, they do this every spring. And this is just one of the things that our student development office will do. They're always keeping students busy on campus and off campus. They'll take students downtown Pittsburgh to see the sporting events. They'll see musicals downtown, providing you transportation there and back, and providing you with some pretty cheap tickets. So if you guys like musicals, I know I like musicals. They sometimes go for $10 a ticket, which is kind of unheard of for a professional production. And if you're interested in deepening your faith, you can get involved with mission and ministry. They do a lot of service, and they're pretty prevalent on our campus. This is a picture of some of our students doing their service learning with La Roche. This was actually one of those Study USA options, so they traveled to do service, and that was their study abroad trip that they chose. And I'm sure most of you play some sort of sport, at least you did at some point in your life. So we have 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams. For lacrosse and soccer, we have a really nice turf field, and our baseball team has made it to the championships for the last, I think, maybe 5 or 6 years, so they're pretty successful, and great sports teams to be a part of. And that was all just on our campus. There's a lot to do around our campus as well. So we're located in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, about 15 minutes north of the city. So downtown is only a 15-minute drive away. Tons to do downtown. The river is there, so you can kayak on the river. There's lots of cultural events and opportunities, sporting events, like I said, parks, all that fun stuff. And of course, internships and jobs. Right across the street from our campus is McCandless Crossing, which is kind of like an outdoor shopping mall. They have restaurants, shops, a movie theater, Dick's Sporting Goods, tons of things for students to eat, shop, and do while they're there. And it's within walking distance of our campus, so a lot of students will get a part-time job here, just because it makes it easy to just walk across the street. But if you don't want to work here, that's totally fine. You can just enjoy all of the amenities that are right here. And then North Park is about a 5-minute drive from campus. It's a huge outdoor park, lots of hiking trails, biking trails. You can kayak on the lake there, paddleboard on the lake. But if outdoor sports aren't really your thing, there's a really nice restaurant that sits on the lake. So you can just sit there and enjoy a meal and look at how pretty it is. And I will hand it over to Mark, and he'll talk to you a little bit more about the application process, and then we'll get to your questions at the end.
Thank you, Tori. And as a Pittsburgh local, I can say that La Roche is really nice in the fact that it connects to a lot of different areas around Pittsburgh. So you got the best of both worlds. You know, you can get the downtown environment and more of a suburban feel. You kind of get a mix of both. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and tell you more about the application process. I'll go into a little bit more about financial aid, and then I will tell you about how to stay connected, and we can get to all of your questions. So the first thing that I want to iterate is that now you're probably building your list of colleges and firing out those applications out to all the schools that are on your list. At La Roche, there are 3 different ways that you can apply. The first one would be our paper application, and this is something that you can download from our website, and you can mail that in. More likely, you'll probably complete the online application, so you would go to our public website, laroche.edu, and look for the admissions tab. From there, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. We'll ask you some general information, get your contact info, and that's how we'll know that you're interested in La Roche. The third way is through the common application, and this is something that you would probably learn about while you're in school, maybe through your guidance counselor. And what that means is the Common App is an online application that you can fire out to the schools and universities that are associated with the Common App. So once you apply, we're going to ask you for a couple of the admissions requirements. The first thing that we're going to ask you for is your current high school transcript. We'll take a look at 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. And then we'll also look at any of the grades that you've earned in your 12th grade year as well. If you're coming through regular admissions, we're going to ask you for your SAT or your ACT scores. And we do super score. So if you've taken those tests multiple times, we'll actually cherry pick your best scores from each time that you've taken that test in order to give you the best overall super score. And then recently, this may be the trend for a lot of schools and universities, we transitioned to test optional during the height of COVID last spring. So in order to get you accepted through test optional, we're going to take a look at your high school transcript, but we also would require you to send in a letter of recommendation from specifically a high school teacher or a guidance counselor. If any of you are transfer students, this is the application process if you wanted to transfer into LaRoche. Again, you would have to go to our website, laroche.edu, and you would look for the Transfer Admissions tab, and you would submit an online application that way. We're going to take a look at your college credits that you've earned, so send us over the college transcripts for whatever college credits that you've earned. You can have that sent out through the registrar's office at your current institution, and then we will do a credit evaluation appointment with one of our transfer admissions counselors. Also, be sure to add LaRoche to your FAFSA. I'll get to that a little bit later. And then we also want you to set up a meeting with one of our transfer admissions counselors to go over classes, to go over the curriculum, to see which classes would be the right fit for you. After you apply and after you send in your admissions requirements and we get you accepted, the first scholarship that you're going to see is a LaRoche Merit Scholarship. And we award more than 11 million in merit scholarships each year alone. Merit simply means that we're going to base it off of your academics. So the higher the test scores, the higher the GPA, the more money in merit scholarship that we're going to award you. As far as costs and fees for LaRoche, this is what you're going to look at. Tuition is right around $29,000. Room and board is an additional $12,000. And then fees would be $850. So total picture that you're looking at is right around $42,000 in order to go to LaRoche. One of the nice things about LaRoche is that whenever you do decide to come here, you're not going to leave an amount of debt. And you can see just based on this slide too, this is information that we got from the College Board, that students come here and we're 20% lower than the average cost of tuition for private colleges. And not only that, but like I said previously, we do a really nice job in helping students set up their financial aid packages. And we actually rank first among universities with the least student debt among graduation. So now we'll talk a bit more about financial aid. And this is something that, just a personal recommendation, you want to be proactive about, how much money you can allocate towards your education. And that's exactly what financial aid is. It's money that goes towards students and families that helps them invest in their education. You can look at it in two different ways. There's federal student aid, which comes from the federal government or the state governments. And there's also institutional aid, which comes from different schools and universities or other organizations. To break it down even further, there are two types of aid. The first one that I want to explain is gift aid. And this is the type of financial aid that you want to have in your package, because this is the aid that you will not have to pay back after you graduate. So state grants, different scholarships like the Merit Scholarship or any outside scholarship is going to be considered gift aid. On the other hand, we also have self-help aid, which can be categorized as loans or work study. And what this means is that you'll have to do something in order to get this money. For loans, you promise then that you'll actually pay back that amount of money with interest upon graduation. And then with the work study, you promise to work hours at a position on campus in order to earn some aid as well. How to apply for financial aid? Well, it all starts with the FAFSA, or the free application for federal student aid. And this is something that you may want to get used to. You're going to have to file the FAFSA each and every year that you want to get federal aid. And it's also pretty advantageous just to have, even if you don't think that you're going to get a lot of money, it's still good to fill out the FAFSA each and every single year. On the FAFSA, you'll go to FAFSA.gov. And I think there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing this. I think it's even mobile friendly these days. But you can list up to 10 different colleges on the FAFSA. You want to apply October 1st of your senior year. That's when it opens. And like I said previously, it's really good to be proactive about your financial aid. And that October 1st date is going to be the same each and every single year. Another important deadline that you may want to write down or jot down is May 1st. And that's a pretty common date for state grants. So in PA, the FIA grant, the deadline for that is on May 1st. It may be similar with some Ohio State grants as well too. So whenever you're looking for scholarships, there's plenty of them that are out there. And there's a couple of different places that you can look on a university's campus, just in general. So you can talk to an admissions officer and they can tell you about merit scholarships and things like that. It's also pretty smart to talk to someone that is in the financial aid office. I mean, this is what they do. They're gonna help you understand your package and understand what kind of opportunities that are out there as well. For La Roche, just on our end, we will initially award you the La Roche Merit Scholarship, but we also have scholarships that include annual and endowed scholarships, and you can find those on our public website, but you can also talk to an admissions counselor to explain what these are and how to apply and how to get them. Outside of the university, you can look at a couple different other places. I would say that, whenever you are looking for scholarships, it's best to keep your ears and eyes to the ground. So you want to talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to your guidance counselor and see what other students in your high school are applying for. You can look for community organizations, your library. You can talk to nonprofit organizations, churches, cultural groups. There's plenty of different organizations that will help you fund your education. And then there's also online scholarships. And just as a rule of thumb, just to tell you first, whenever you are applying for online scholarships, if they ask you to pay a fee in order to generate a scholarship search, it's a scam. Don't do it. There are plenty of free websites that are out there in order for you to add money onto your financial aid package. And some of the websites that we like to promote include fastweb.com, scholarships.com, collegeboard.org, pittsburghfoundation.org, tuition funding sources, petersons.com. There's plenty of them that are out there. Most of them will ask you to create an online profile. This is, something similar, something that you maybe already be used to, which is, an email, a password, and then they'll ask you to create a profile in order to generate scholarships. So some things to keep in mind whenever you are applying for scholarships. The first thing that I would tell you is to keep and recycle your essays. A lot of times in order to get considered for, to be in the candidacy for these scholarships, they'll have you write an essay in order to be a candidate. And after a while, you'll start to notice that some of these prompts start to look really familiar. They could be general, like provide me with an essay. They could be a little bit more specific, like tell me a time when you experienced a setback and how you overcame that challenge. So I would say keep and recycle your essays. That's definitely number one on my list. Do a lot of research. Continue to do research and throughout your senior year. You really want to set yourself up for success, and that's why I've continued to reiterate that it's best to be proactive about the scholarships and your financial aid. Make sure whenever you do apply for scholarships that it actually applies to you. There's a lot of really specific scholarships. Some can be, goofy, like a left-handed scholarship. Others can be specific to your intended major. So, whether it's going into business, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a teacher. There's really specific requirements for some of these scholarships, and that's something to be aware of as well. And then make sure that you also include all the necessary documents whenever you do apply for those. And just some more things to remember. Keep copies. Make sure you're writing down and saving this information, especially for the FAFSA. That's an ID and a password that you want to have each and every year, so keep that under lock and key. Also, make sure you're talking to the right people. You want to build up a support system of people that are going to help you with your education, whether that's, your friends and family or someone in your high school, but also for your intended institution. So get to know the people who are working for the school of your choice. So whether that's an admissions counselor, a financial aid officer, they'll continue to help you through the process and also help you with things like deadlines and the admissions requirements. make sure you stay connected, especially now since everything has gone virtual. There's plenty of ways to figure out when events are happening, what's going on campus, and really just what is the latest and greatest. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We also have a great Facebook page. And that's just one of the ways that you can stay connected with LaRoche. And then we also have a short video that explains what Tori explained a little bit earlier in the presentation, kind of like the surrounding area, what's going on campus, and what you can expect coming here.
Welcome to LaRoche, and thank you for visiting today. As a LaRoche student, you'll belong to a caring campus community, as well as a much larger community in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. Today, I'll show you all that our community has to offer, as well as what you won't see during a regular campus tour. Beyond Kurt is the Barrow Athletic Complex, which has an artificial turf field for soccer and lacrosse, and 2 fields for baseball and softball. Across the street from campus is McCandless Crossing, and you won't need a car to get there. Whether you want to catch a movie, shop, dine, or meet up with classmates, McCandless Crossing offers all of this within walking distance. It's also the perfect location to secure a job or internship. Another nearby attraction is North Park of Allegheny County. Just 5 minutes away, North Park has over 3,000 acres of land and a 75-acre lake. You can run or bike miles of trails and experience the thrill of a zipline course. Many students also enjoy the winter ice rink and the lake for kayaking and paddleboarding. And finally, there's downtown Pittsburgh. The city is just a 15-minute drive from campus, and whether you're looking for an internship or entertainment, you're in luck. Home to many global corporations and Fortune 500 companies, Pittsburgh is the perfect place to begin your professional career. In your free time, you can go to a show in the Cultural District or catch a professional sporting event. There are endless possibilities for networking and adventure in Pittsburgh. Now it's time for you to explore the LaRoche campus. If you have any questions about anything that I've shown you today, feel free to ask an admissions counselor or a Red Hawk recruiter. Have a great day and enjoy your tour.
So thank you again for attending this session. Here's some of our contact information. So if you do have any questions about the admissions process, or just want to touch base with someone in the admissions office, the transfer office, or even from financial aid, here's the contact information that you can use.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you wanted to specifically talk to either me or Mark, you could just email that freshman admissions email and say, I'm looking for Mark or Tori, and they'll get it to us. Before we finish today, I just want to ask a few questions that we have. Mark, if you don't mind answering.
Sure.
The first one is, what are your most popular majors?
So some of the majors that I would initially highlight, first and foremost, is our design program. So interior design and graphic design. These 2 programs have held accreditations from NASAT, which is the National Association of School of Art and Design, as well as CETA, which is the Council of Interior Design Accreditation. It's a really hands-on, really dynamic major. And another point to just reiterate, just for all of our programs, is that the small class sizes are a big reason why students decide to come to us. We have faculty that really cares about our students and is, really invested in their success and their future. To go back to the design program, we also have a joint advisory board within that program. So this is where students can get exposure from professionals, and they can also seek and network opportunities and even get a job through this.
Yeah, and in addition to design, we have an awesome criminal justice program here at LaRoche. We have a crime scene lab that students have the opportunity to go in. Our professors set up mock crime scenes based on cases that they've actually had before in the field. And the students can go in, gather their evidence, do all the fingerprint analytics. One of the coolest parts is that some groups of students are actually able to take that evidence and present it to an Allegheny County court judge. So you kind of get to go through the whole process. Again, a very hands-on major. But I just wanted to point that one out. It's a great major, popular here at LaRoche as well. Yeah,
I could listen to those guys talk all day. They're former FBI officers. They're really great. I would say business is one of our most popular programs, specifically within our business division. I think we have a really strong accounting program. And we have, faculty that, are industry professionals. They work in both the private and the public sector. They have an excellent master's program as well, too. So if you're thinking about taking the CPA, it's a really good way to prepare for that.
Yeah. Our next question is, how do I schedule a visit?
So we're actually one of the schools that are doing both in-person and virtual visits. So in order to set one of these up, you would go to our public website. Again, that is laroche.edu, and you would look about in the middle of the web page, and you'll see a tab that says visit campus. You can set up a personal visit. We have, like I said, in-person visits. We've adjusted our times to be more accommodating. So our earliest one is at 9:30, and I believe our latest one is at 5:30 p.m. So if you're coming from, Ohio and want to schedule one for, a later time, that's perfectly all right. We also have virtual visits that you can set up, and you can talk to most likely me or Tori at any time. We can answer your questions, if you have any more specific questions about the programs, the admissions requirements, or things like that. We're happy to help you out. And then finally, we also have Saturday group visits that are going to be taking place throughout the month of October and most likely throughout the fall.
Thanks. Can you talk a little bit more about if you have any events coming up on campus or off campus?
Yeah, we sure do. So the next OACAC session, very similar to this, is going to take place on November 3rd, which also happens to be my birthday. So it'll be a session similar to this, and that takes place on November 3rd, and you can catch all the details there. Next week, something that's upcoming, we have our preview night, which it's a really great event. It's going to be virtual this time around, but this is where we get a lot of different divisions, different faculty around campus that can tell you about financial aid, about athletics, about mission and ministry. You can kind of explore a lot of the different facets of LaRoche through this preview night, and that's going to take place on September 30th, which is next Wednesday.
Thank you. And that's all we have. So thank you for joining us today. I hope that you learned a little bit more about LaRoche, and I hope to see you on campus sometime soon.
Thanks.
Thank you, LaRoche University, and thank you to the students who were able to join us today. After you close this window, a very quick 4-question survey will appear on your screen. As a reminder, this session will be available online. You can view the recording at oacac.org and also find other sessions to sign up for. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great day.